Hi Nigel. Now, I know we've spoken about this video before, but can I just say congratulations on getting so much publicity out of just one day in Clacton. And I have to say, I found this article riveting. Like, of course you're a self-confessed gambler. It's like the good old days really, isn't it? That same rush of adrenaline as when you were a commodities trader, which you talk about in this article. Which, of course, you left that when the Maastricht Treaty came in, and you were so cross about the Maastricht Treaty coming in, you formed UKIP, and the rest, as they say, has been the downfall of Britain. I mean, as much as I hate to blow my own trumpet, Nigel, I have to say this article further supports my hypothesis that you left the trade-in because you couldn't handle the paperwork, you were bitter about it, you took it out on Europe, took it out on Britain with Brexit, somehow become this populist leader because you're a very, very good communicator, buy, sell, put the bet on, that sort of person. But yet you're never over any of the detail. And try as you might to make more of a drama of this, because let's not forget, Nigel, gambling, the only people that win are the bookies. So the poor sods that are throwing their money away at the end of the pier or on the horses, they haven't got money to lose, not like you earning £1 million on top of your MP salary. Gambling is really quite cruel, isn't it, as a maladaptive coping mechanism. I thought the Sun were valiant trying to make it into a bigger story, that the gambling tax could possibly wipe out resort arcades. I mean, it's not going to, is it? But God loves a trier. Anyway, back to your hapless councillors. And good news, bad news, it's not the Reform Council down in Kent this time. That's the good news. The bad news, there seem to be Reform councillors everywhere that are a little bit shit. This lot are arguing about who's going to lay the wreath on Remembrance Sunday. This was my favourite bit though. A Reform spokesman said, "It is deeply disappointing to see Remembrance Sunday being used for political point scoring." Yeah, because you shouldn't be politicising the wreath, should you? A bit crass to have your logo on it, don't you think? Or what about one of your great propaganda weapons, Isabel Oakeshott, the girlfriend of Deputy Dick, who's now an economic migrant living in Dubai, telling us that we've got too many Muslims over here. You couldn't make it up, but yet she does. And she was telling us last year, whatever you do, don't buy poppies from the Royal British Legion. I mean, clearly none of these people have had the memo to say don't politicise Remembrance Sunday. Seemingly, you didn't get the memo because it was this time last year you were crying because you couldn't stand with all the other grown-up politicians. Actually, that's not fair because Boris Johnson was there and Liz Truss. But you couldn't stand with all the leaders because you didn't have enough MPs, which meant that you couldn't lay a wreath at the cenotaph. But you knew that, but you said it was an establishment stitch-up. And Deputy Dick did the whole media rounds to demand that in future you should be able to lay a wreath. It'll be interesting to find out tomorrow whether you play the same poor me card as you did last year. Anyway, before I go, it's now 11 days since the survivors from the grooming gangs. Anyway, before I go, Nigel, it has now been 11 days since the grooming gang survivors, the 5 of them that wrote in support of Jess Phillips, were misrepresented in your press conference and asked for an apology from you. That's 11 days that you've allowed a lie to fester about people who have been called liars their entire life. And in those 11 days, you've even written another article about your proposal for a ridiculous parliamentary sort of inquiry, which is bollocks compared to the national inquiry that those survivors deserve. It's never a weakness to say that you were wrong. I mean, you could learn the same lesson about Brexit, couldn't you? But anyway, as you were.